You know how the world outside just quiets down as we head into fall and winter? The days get shorter, the light changes, it's softer, maybe grayer.
hmm That shift is really noticeable.
And a lot of us feel a change inside too, right? That urge to just stay in, maybe eating a few too many cookies.
Oh, definitely. The comfort food cravings.
Yeah. And your energy just tanks, even if you feel like you're sleeping more. For millions, though, this isn't just, the winter blues.
Exactly. It can be much more persistent, a recognized medical condition, actually. It involves this really fascinating interplay between light, our biology, and, well, our environment.
It's a significant thing, not just a passing mood. It can genuinely get in the way of daily life.
It absolutely can.
So let's unpack this. Our mission today is to dive deep into seasonal affective disorder, SAD for short.
Right.
We want to explore why it happens, who tends to get it, and really importantly, arm you with some science-backed strategies to fight back effectively.
Yeah, the goal is to give you a clear, practical guide, something you can use to navigate these darker months and, feel your best.
We want you to feel empowered, basically. Give you the knowledge and the tools to manage your well-being proactively. Turn a tough season into maybe an opportunity for better self-care.
Precisely. It's about building resilience.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, the why. What exactly is SA?
So, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, is actually classified as a type of major depressive disorder.
Okay.
But what makes it unique is this recurrent seasonal pattern. For most people, it tends to kick in during late fall or early winter, and then it resolves, it goes away as spring and summer roll around.
Got it. But you said most people.
Right. It's important to know, though it's much less common, a smaller group of people actually experience SAD in the spring and summer. So it's not just a winter thing, though that's the most typical pattern.
Interesting. So not exclusively winter. What kind of numbers are we talking about? Is this common?
Well, estimates suggest about 5% of adults in the U.S. deal with SAD. And for those folks, the symptoms can hang around for like 40% of the year. That's a big chunk of time.
Wow. Yeah.
And we definitely see it more often the further you get from the equator. Higher latitudes, less sunlight.
That makes intuitive sense.
Yeah, like a study showed affects maybe close to 10% of people in Alaska. But down in Florida, it's closer to 1.4%. Big difference.
Huge difference.
It also seems to be more common in women and younger people, usually showing up for the first time between, say, 18 and 30 years old.
Okay. So for that typical winter pattern, what are the main symptoms someone might recognize? What should you look out for?
A lot of the symptoms overlap with major depression, actually. So you might notice a persistent, sad or, depressed mood, a real loss of interest or pleasure in things you usually enjoy. Changes in appetite are common. And for winter SAD, that usually means eating more.
Okay.
Especially craving carbohydrates, which, as you mentioned, often leads to some weight gain.
Right, those carb cravings. So that's not just like a lack of willpower then. It's a real symptom.
Absolutely. It's a genuine biological signal your body is sending. It's not just in your head.
Good to know. What else?
You might also see changes in sleep, usually sleeping too much, what doctors call hypersomnia.
Even though you're sleeping more, you still feel tired.
Exactly. A pervasive loss of energy or fatigue despite the extra sleep. Social withdrawal is another big one, that feeling of wanting to just hibernate.
Yeah, I've heard people say that.
And then there can be feelings of worthlessness or guilt, trouble concentrating or making decisions, and in more severe cases, even thoughts of death or suicide. It needs to be taken seriously.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the less common summer pattern is different.
Yeah, quite different. Summer SAD often involves insomnia trouble, sleeping poor appetite leading to weight loss, feeling restless or agitated, increased anxiety.
Wow, almost the opposite in some ways.
In some ways, yes. And in rare instances, it can even involve violent or aggressive behavior. So a really distinct set of challenges compared to the winter type.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating, the science behind why. Let's talk about our internal clocks, the circadian rhythm.
Right. This is key. What's really interesting is how less natural sunlight directly messes with our body's internal clock, our circadian rhythm.
Okay.
And when that clock gets thrown off, it impacts our sleep-wake cycles, our energy levels, even our mood.
It's deeply connected.
Deeply. Actually, the history of SAD research is tied up with circadian rhythm studies. Researchers noticed that depressed patients often felt better when exposed to bright light. That was a huge clue.
So our bodies are literally designed to sync up with light and dark.
Pretty much, yeah. Light isn't just for seeing. It's a major regulator for our whole system.
And I know neurotransmitters, those brain chemicals, are involved too. Let's start with serotonin. That one comes up a lot with mood.
It does. People with SAD often show reduced levels of serotonin activity in the brain. Serotonin is crucial for regulating mood, and sunlight exposure actually helps maintain healthy levels.
How does that work?
Well, it seems the shorter, darker days might hinder the molecule's transporters, specifically that help keep serotonin active and available. Some studies have shown serotonin content in the hypothalamus, a key brain area for mood and sleep, is lowest in winter.
Okay.
And there's other evidence too, like if you take SAD patients who are feeling better thanks to light therapy, and you put them on a diet that depletes tryptophan.
Which is the building block for serotonin, right?
Exactly. When you do that, they often relapse back into depressive symptoms. It really highlights how important serotonin is in this picture.
Makes sense. What about other brain chemicals? I hear a lot about melatonin too, especially with sleep.
Melatonin is another critical piece of the puzzle. Shorter days, more darkness that triggers increased production of melatonin.
The sleep hormone.
Right. Which leads to that increased sleepiness and oversleeping, often seen in winter SAD. Melatonin release is controlled by our circadian clock, and importantly, it's suppressed by light.
So more darkness, more melatonin, more sleepiness.
You got it. And research also points to other neurotransmitters maybe playing a role, like norepinephrine and dopamine. They affect things like arousal, energy, even how our body regulates temperature, which can also be off in SAD.
Wow, it's complex. Another thing I've heard linked is vitamin D. How does that fit in?
Yeah, that's a big one too. Many people with winter SAD are found to have low vitamin D levels.
Okay.
And this might make symptoms worse because vitamin D is thought to help promote serotonin activity in the brain.
Ah, another connection to serotonin.
Right. And since our bodies mostly make vitamin D when sunlight hits our skin, well, less daylight in winter naturally means lower levels for many people.
It feels like a perfect storm of factors sometimes. Is there a genetic link? Can you be predisposed to SAD?
There's definitely emerging evidence suggesting a genetic vulnerability. It's interesting, some studies have found surprisingly low rates of SAD in places like Iceland, and also among Canadians who are of Icelandic descent.
Really? Why might that be?
Well, one theory is possible protective genetic factors. Another hypothesis, though, points to their high fish consumption. Fish is rich in vitamin D and those healthy omega-3 fats, like DHA.
Ah, so it could be genetics or diet or both?
Exactly. It's probably complex. But one study looking at twins found that genetics seemed to account for about 29% of the variation in how seasonal people's moods were. So yes, genes likely play some part, even though environment is huge.
And does SAD tend to show up alongside other conditions?
It does, fairly often. It's more common in people who already have depression or bipolar disorder, particularly bipolar 2.
Okay.
And it can also be linked with things like ADHD, eating disorders, anxiety disorders, or panic disorder. So it often doesn't exist in isolation.
Right. It can be part of a bigger picture. Okay, so we've dug into the why, which is fascinating. Now let's switch gears to the really practical stuff. What can you do about it? Starting with maybe the simplest thing, natural light.
Absolutely. The simplest and maybe the most fundamental step is just maximizing the natural light you get.
How so?
Make a real effort to spend time outside during daylight hours, especially in the morning. That morning light seems to have the biggest positive impact on resetting your internal clock.
Even if it's cloudy.
Yes. Even on overcast days, the natural light outside is still much brighter and more beneficial than typical indoor lighting. And if you really can't get outside, at least try to sit near a window while you work or read.
Every little bit helps, and there's solid research behind this, right?
Oh, yeah. There was a huge study, Monash University, I think, with over 400,000 people. It showed a really clear link. More time spent in outdoor light meant fewer depressive symptoms, less antidepressant use, better sleep, and people found it easier to wake up in the morning.
Wow. Powerful stuff, and totally free.
Totally free.
Okay, but sometimes, especially deep in winter, natural light just isn't enough or accessible enough. That's where light therapy comes in, right? The bright solution.
Exactly. Light therapy, usually with a special light box, is really a cornerstone treatment for winter SAD.
How does it actually work?
Basically, it mimics bright, natural sunlight. The idea is to make up for that lack of daylight we experience in winter. It helps reset your body clock, can reduce that excessive melatonin production, and helps boost serotonin levels.
So how do you use one? And what should you look for if you're buying one? It seems like there are tons out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of options. Typically, you'd sit fairly close, maybe 12 to 24 inches, from a light box that emits 10,000 lux. That's a measure of brightness.
Okay.
You do it for about 20 to 45 minutes each day. Ideally, first thing in the morning. You start in the fall and continue through spring. Most people start feeling better within a week or two.
Any safety things to know? Like UV rays?
Good question. Reputable modern SAD lamps are designed to filter out harmful UV rays. So used properly, they shouldn't cause UV exposure or eye damage.
Okay. And that 10,000 lux number, is that the magic number?
It's the most common number you hear, kind of a marketing benchmark. But there's nothing inherently special about 10,000 lux itself. Some research suggests other metrics might be even more relevant.
Like what?
Like something called circadian light, or CLA. It's weighted specifically for how light affects those circadian cells in your eye. More CLA is generally good. Also, think about glare, sometimes measured as lux per square inch. Too high, over 300 maybe, can be uncomfortable.
Right. You don't want to be squinting the whole time.
Exactly. And finally, some people are sensitive to flicker, which comes from the lamp's electronics. If you think you might be sensitive, look for flicker-free models.
What about those light therapy glasses you see sometimes? Lamps versus glasses.
Good question. It really depends on your lifestyle. Glasses offer portability, you can move around, do things, and the light source is always at the right distance. Lamps, though, are generally more powerful. They can deliver a higher intensity of light overall, but you do need to sit relatively still in front of them. So if you're at a desk anyway in the morning, a lamp might be more effective.
Okay, that makes sense. Choosing one still feels a bit daunting. Any general tips based on, like, product testing or reviews?
Sure. For overall value and comfort, often larger lamps from established brands are good because they diffuse the light well, making it softer and less glaring. Brands like Carex often get mentioned.
Okay.
If you need something portable, there are smaller, high-intensity options like the Aurora LightPad Mini, though they can be pricier, or things like the Happy Light models.
And for flicker-sensitive people?
Some specific models are marketed as flicker-free, like certain Theralite or Aura lamps. You want to look into those specifically. We can definitely link some resources and specific findings in the show notes for people to dig into.
Great. Okay, moving beyond light. What other lifestyle adjustments are key for combating SAD? Let's talk sleep.
The consistent sleep schedule is huge.
Yeah.
Really try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every single day. Yes, even on weekends.
The weekend thing is tough.
I know, but it really helps regulate melatonin and keep your energy levels more stable. And for SAD, make your bedroom really dark, pitch black if possible. Even small amounts of light at night can mess with melatonin and make daytime sleepiness worse.
Good tip.
Yeah.
And cut out screens before bed.
Definitely. Avoid that blue light from phones, tablets, computers for at least 30-60 minutes before you want to sleep. Maybe read a physical book, meditate, take a warm bath, create a calming routine.
Makes sense. What about exercise? We always hear exercise is good for mood.
It absolutely is. Exercise boosts endorphins, which are natural mood lifters, improves energy, helps you sleep better. Aim for maybe 30 minutes most days.
Any kind.
Anything you enjoy. Walking, yoga, dancing, lifting weights. But here's a pro tip for SAD. Try to exercise outdoors if you can, especially in the morning.
Combining the light exposure with the movement.
Exactly. It's like a double whammy for resetting your clock and boosting your mood, even if the sun isn't fully out.
Nice. Okay, nutrition. Those carb cravings are real. How do you manage that?
Yeah, acknowledge that craving is biological. But instead of reaching for sugary, simple carbs that lead to energy crashes.
Like candy or white bread.
Right. Focus on complex carbs. Think whole grains, oats, brown rice, quinoa, and pair them with protein and healthy fats. That helps stabilize your blood sugar and prevents those energy dips that make you feel worse.
Got it. Any specific foods that are extra helpful?
Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel are great. They provide omega-3s and vitamin D. Eggs, fortified dairy, or plant milks can also give you vitamin D. Nuts and seeds for healthy fats and magnesium. Leafy greens are powerhouses for vitamins and magnesium too.
And vitamin D supplements, should people just start taking them?
It's really best to talk to your doctor first. They can check your levels and recommend the right dose if you actually need it. Don't just guess.
Good advice. Okay, one more strategy. Journaling and gratitude. How can that help?
These can be surprisingly powerful tools. Journaling helps you identify and process your feelings, track your mood and symptoms over time. It gives you space for positive self-talk and can make you feel less alone with your thoughts. And practicing gratitude, consciously focusing on things you're thankful for, can genuinely help shift your mindset away from the negative, even when things feel bleak. It trains your brain to notice the good.
So with all these strategies, when should someone think, okay, this isn't enough, I need professional help?
If your symptoms stick around for weeks, if they're getting worse, or if they're really starting to interfere with your daily life, your work, your relationships, your ability to function.
Trouble concentrating, feeling hopeless?
Exactly. Difficulty concentrating, making decisions, feeling persistently sad or hopeless, isolating yourself, or especially if you have any thoughts of harming yourself. Those are all clear signals to reach out for professional support. Don't wait.
Absolutely. And what kind of treatments might a doctor or therapist suggest?
Several options. Psychotherapy can be very effective, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. There's even a version tailored for SAD called CBT-SAD.
What does that involve?
It helps you learn new ways of thinking and behaving. You work on identifying and changing negative thought patterns, and also on scheduling enjoyable activities, behavioral activation, it's called, to counteract that urge to withdraw.
Okay. What about medication?
Antidepressants can also be very effective. SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors like fluoxetine or sertraline, are commonly used. Another one, bupropion extended release, is actually FDA approved specifically for preventing SAD if you start taking it in the early fall.
Ah, so prevention really is a possibility. You can get ahead of it.
Yes, absolutely. Because SAD often follows a predictable pattern, being proactive is really helpful. Starting treatments like light therapy or medication before the usual onset time in the fall can significantly reduce symptoms or even prevent them altogether.
That's really hopeful.
It is. Knowledge is power here.
So wrapping things up, we've covered a lot. The science of how light, or lack thereof, messes with our biology, leading to SAD, and a whole toolkit of strategies to fight back.
Yeah, the key thing to remember is that managing SAD usually isn't about just one magic bullet. It's often a combination, understanding the science, using practical daily habits.
And that central role of light really stands out, getting natural light when you can, and using therapeutic light effectively.
Absolutely. Plus, consistency with sleep, moving your body, nourishing yourself well, and using those mental tools like journaling. They're all powerful allies.
And crucially, remembering that seeking professional help is totally okay. It's a sign of strength, and there are effective treatments out there.
Definitely. This deep dive, hopefully, gives you the knowledge you need to be proactive, to take charge of your well-being during those tougher months. It's about building that resilience.
So as you go about your days, maybe paying a little more attention to the light around you, here's something to think about. In our modern world, we're often surrounded by artificial light, kind of disconnected from natural cycles.
What if intentionally reconnecting with the sun's rhythms, whether it's spending more time outside or using a therapy lamp, could unlock more than just better mood and sleep? Could it foster a deeper harmony with the world and maybe even reveal surprising things about our own biological potential?
That's a great thought to leave people with, how tuning back into those natural rhythms might benefit us in ways we don't even fully appreciate yet.